Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
CBS presents this program in color.
From Television City in Hollywood.
The Red Skelton Hour. Roll out the tables, bring on the girls. Company is coming tonight.
Slip on the sable, pick out the pearls. Company is coming tonight.
Better get the trays full of canapes. If the turkey's done, we can start the fun. Fix the people up with a cheery cup of brew. Company is coming tonight, and it's you. Our guest star, Pearl Eyes. Our special guest star, Lulu. David Rose and his orchestra. The Alan Copeland singers. The Tom Hanson dancers. And here he is, Red Skelton.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I feel good tonight. You know, I was just backstage thinking, I've been in show business now over 40 years, and every week it's a big thrill to come out like this. 40 years I've been in show. I probably loused up more stages than Jesse James. I don't like to brag, but I once sang a duet with Kate Smith. Kate Smith would look at me and she'd sing, "All of me, why not take all of me?" And I had to make 2 trips. I've done a lot of things in show business, though, like during the Depression, back in Philadelphia and Camden, New Jersey, I was with walkathons as master ceremonies. You remember the endurance contest? You remember those things, the walkathons, the marathons? Couples used to dance together for 3 and 4 weeks at a time, or months at a time. Now they don't stay married that long. Especially in Hollywood. Hey, there was a guy walked into his home in Beverly Hills, and he says to the little boy, "I'm your new father." Kid says, "It's nice to meet you. You want to sign my visitor's book?" And then I was in burlesque, too. I was in burlesque. There's where you learn acting. Well, it wasn't exactly acting. You just pretend you wasn't looking. And one night, the star of our show, Gypsy Rose Lee, was arrested, see? So I went down to the courthouse, and I says, "Judge, Your Honor, you can't arrest this poor innocent girl. She was covered from head to toes." He says, "I saw the show, and they were goose pimples." You know, a lot of funny things happen in theaters. I wish something right now would come along. No, but there were 2 guys sitting in the theater once, and you know the big fire curtain that says asbestos on the front of it in the theaters? Well, these 2 guys are sitting, this one guy says, "I think I've seen this show Asbestos before." The other guy says, "Don't be so ignorant. That's a Latin word, means you're welcome." But I play now, they tell me thousands and millions of people are watching. I used to play theaters that were so small they wouldn't let you take a bow. You'd get dandruff in the lobby. Hey, I played Patterson, New Jersey once. This is a true story. I played Patterson, and you know, when you play a theater, you want the manager to think you're doing well, see? And after the first show, actors usually draw money. See? So this guy knocked on the door, and he says, "I have some money for you." I says, "You don't have to pay me till I'm through." He says, "You're through." they're talking about little theaters I played. I walked in this one theater, and I said to the manager, I wouldn't even think I was a big shot. So I said, now, I'll need a rehearsal in the morning at 10 o'clock. I'll need the stage manager, the property man, the electrician, and the spotlight man at 10 o'clock in the morning. The manager says, I'll be there. And you know, you can't just get in show business. You got to have a booking agent, and they won't take just anybody if they don't know you. So I went into this one office in Chicago at the Woods Theater building, and I walk in the first day, and the booking agent looked up and he went. Next day I go in, the secretary's sitting there, and she goes. Next day I go in, there's nobody in the office, and the gate's going. And I used to lie to get my jobs. I used to lie to get a job. The manager say, the booking agent rather would say, "What shows you been in?" I says, "Dinner at 8." He says, "I saw Dinner 8 last night. You wasn't in it." I says, "I ate early." And a lot of actors used to be in vaudeville are now in politics. George Murphy. I work with George Murphy in vaudeville. And he's now a senator, you know. And there was a guy in vaudeville that a magician used to go through the audience and he'd borrow money. He'd say, "Give me a $10 bill," and disappear. And a $50 bill, disappear. $100 bill, disappear. You know what he does now? He's a tax collector in California. I got one. Gertrude and Heathcliff, the two seagulls. Dave, what do you think? What do you say? Let's go over to the theater and see that picture about the stool pigeon. She says, "A picture about a stool pigeon? What picture is that?" He says, "William Tell." Hey, you know, a lot of times actors come out on the stage and they're laughing and they're full of good spirits and everything. But did you ever try to figure out what goes on before they come on? We're actually scared to death before we come out in front of the cameras or in front of the audience. Now, let's pretend this is the stage from here to here, and that's what they call a proscenium. This is off stage, and that's off stage. I'd like to show you what happens with the actors back there. Now, they have a little peek hole that they look through. They see the audience before they come out. Because if you didn't, you'd be scared to death altogether. This is what happens. They stink.
Here he is again, Red Skelton.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our sponsors and staff, may I say how proud we are to spend this hour with you. I do hope that we brought you but 1 second of enjoyment. So good life to you, good night, and may God bless. Thank you.
While it's time to turn our bus around, there's another trip in sight. 'Cause you know, although we're homeward bound, we'll be back on Tuesday night. So goodbye until the moment when we'll see you all again. To our friends here and far, very well, or in
This is Art Gilmore speaking.